Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, March 27th, and I'm your host, Kristen McDonald. Dave Thompson took time at the beginning of the school committee meeting on Wednesday night to recap Governor Baker's school closure order until May 4th, as well as update the community on the effective measures the schools are taking to still serve its residents.
But we have done a lot of work this week in preparation for this change. Mainly, I want to thank my administrative team for all of their work in this aspect. Dr. Wyeth will report a little bit later on the work around curriculum and learning opportunities. A lot of work from our technology department, headed up by Joe Kidd, looking to make sure students had devices to access online options, as well as working with the town to get internet access to families who do not have that. We have taken apart our Chromebook carts at the elementary level to disperse Chromebooks to families. That has happened during our lunch program. Our lunch program has expanded from just 2 sites, the Balch and the Callahan, to all of our 5 elementary schools, although not the Willett. Willett's right in the Callahan area. And those are open from 11 to 1, where they can pick up breakfast and lunch to go. So you pick up lunch and you have breakfast the next morning, and that is available to anyone 18 years of age and younger.
Town Manager Tony Mazzucco has been under quarantine after testing positive for COVID-19. Last weekend, he gave his first interview with NCM's Jerry Slater and talked about how he was still working and what it was like to be quarantined.
But for me and for most of the team, the incident response team that the town has put together, our public health and public safety departments and some staff from my office, they've been long days just coordinating via email and via phone. I've been checking my averages on my iPhone between 12 and 15 hours of screen time on my phone a day. So I feel like I'm attached at the hip to my phone. It's tough to be in quarantine. Again, I was lucky on the health side. I'm lucky on the work side that my work has been keeping me quite busy responding to folks and getting in touch with folks. But I think it's important to try to find a little time each day to do something that you enjoy, whether it's a little bit of reading, try to watch a little bit of television, play a little bit of a video game. I've been having lunch dates via Skype with folks, and that stuff, little things like that are important to just keep some sense of regularity.
The Norwood Fire Department, along with most of the other town departments, have made some major changes to their daily operations. As first responders, the department is still responding to all emergency calls, but with the current state of the COVID virus, some changes have been made. For some of those changes, we go to Chief George Maurice.
I'd like to update the people of Norwood on the current status of the Norwood Fire Department. Currently, we are fully operational and we are at maximum capacity. We are running 2 engines, a ladder truck, and 2 ambulances at this time, which is our normal procedure. I would like to let the public know that at this point we have decided to basically break the department up into smaller satellite stations. The reason we're doing this is to maintain social distancing amongst the members of the department so we can protect their health and well-being, and in doing so, then we can fully protect the people of the town of Norwood. Currently, we have an engine and 2 ambulances running out of the main station on Manhattan Street. The rec department has kindly let us use the Civic Center, where we have a ladder truck and a crew quartered up at the Civic Center. And at the old light department building on Central Street, we have our lead engine and we have a crew of a lieutenant and 3 firefighters there. The engine is housed under a tent up at the old light department building. I don't want the public to think that anything is out of the ordinary because of that. We had the COVID-19 pandemic going on, but it is strictly to protect the engine from the elements. At this time, I would like to go over some of the items that we'd like the public to keep practicing. Social distancing is one of the biggest ones. If you can maintain a minimum of 6 feet away from each other, that will greatly help us flatten the curve in this pandemic. If you have to cough, cover your cough with a tissue or something that can be thrown away after that, or cough into the crook of your arm. And the other item that we would also like you to do is, if you're washing your hands, use warm to semi-hot water with soap, and make sure that you wash them for a minimum of 20 seconds. At this time, I would like to go over to our EMS coordinator, Michael Chisholm, and Lieutenant John Cody. And basically, they're going to show you some of the equipment that we are using as we deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. I don't want people to be nervous or afraid when you see us using that equipment. In essence, it is to protect us, it is protect you, the public, and of course the hospital staff. So I'd like to go over to Michael Chisholm and have him explain the equipment that we are using.
How you doing? Down here at the fire department, we're going to do a demonstration. For the sake of this demonstration, we'll be close quarters, but as always, we're hoping everyone will practice social distancing to hopefully stop the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. Lieutenant Cody, if you want to put that mask on. What I'm going to go through is what you may see your Norwood firefighters and paramedics be dressed in if you do have to encounter us. When we show up, due to the recent spread of the virus, a couple things have changed. Lieutenant, throw that on over your head. As you'll notice, Lieutenant Cody here is dressed in a gown. He's wearing the N95 mask, which could vary depending on the situation. With everything going on now, supply chains have been affected, so we do have different masks you may see our firefighters or paramedics showing up in. As you see here, there's also another type of respirator our guys may show up. So Lieutenant Cody has his gown on right now. This prevents respiratory droplets from getting on him. What's next is his gloves. As you notice, his thumbs are through the side, and the idea is to prevent any leaks or exposure to direct skin contact for him. Now those are on. Another firefighter would come behind him, tie off the gown to ensure nothing's getting caught, and it provides the best protection for him. One of the other things that you'll see our paramedics, EMTs, and firefighters wearing is eye protection. All the precautions that Norwood Fire is taking is based upon the CDC regulations and our relationship with our medical director and doctors up at Norwood Hospital. So as you see here, for your protection as well as our protection in the fight against the coronavirus, we will be dressed as such, and any of our partners in the surrounding towns will also be dressed much like us. And one thing you guys may see if we show up, in order to protect everyone in the ambulance and the hospital and actually anyone around you, we may place a mask on you. This is to prevent any exposure. If you cough, you sneeze, any of those respiratory droplets is actually what causes the spread of this virus. So you may see a mask like this placed over you. Please understand, it's simply for your protection as well as ours.
Again, I'd like to reiterate that the members of the Norwood Fire Department are operational. We are at capacity, and we are here to serve the people of Norwood. As always, dial 911 if you need us, and we will be there to mitigate any emergency that you are having. Thank you.
Stay tuned after this break for some more town news.
Hi, Sigal Reese, Norwood's Public Health Director. In these unsettled times, we'd like you to know that every decision we make has your well-being and safety in mind. We take this extremely seriously, and we hope that everyone is managing as well as possible. We are trying to strike that perfect balance between controlling the spread of COVID-19 and maintaining essential services to keep Norwood functioning. One thing to keep in mind, as more testing becomes available, we will see an increase in positive cases. The more you test, the more cases we will find. This allows us to do two things. First, we can communicate with positive cases and ask close contacts to self-quarantine. Second, we can track the progress and trend of the virus in our community. We can all do our part to contribute to this effort. Please stay at home as much as possible, but also take walks or exercise outdoors with your family while maintaining social distance from others. At the same time, we should reinforce to everyone the importance of social distancing and not congregating in large groups. Employees that can work from home should be encouraged to do so from their employers. Take care of yourself, your friends and family, and neighbors. Check on each other, especially those high-risk individuals. Continue to wash your hands and clean frequently touched surfaces to avoid introducing the virus into your body. Support the businesses that are open and thank our essential workers for continuing to do their job. We rely on these people for the basic functions in our community, from trash collection to public health and safety, and of course, health care. They are sacrificing for the common good and deserve our gratitude. Norwood is a strong community, and we will keep working together to best serve you.
Who's most at risk for coronavirus? people over 65, people with underlying medical conditions like heart disease, chronic lung disease, asthma, diabetes, people undergoing cancer treatment, and people with weakened immune systems. What should you do if you or a loved one is at higher risk? Avoid close contact with people, avoid crowds, stay home if you can, wash your hands frequently, learn more ways to protect yourself and others at coronavirus.gov.
Welcome back. James Collins, Superintendent of the Norwood Light Department, supplied us with this update. The building department customer service reps are rotating, mostly working from home, but are able to answer phones and access desktop computers from their home and handle customer calls for information. At least one supervisor and one of two CSRs are on site during normal hours. Broadband is rotating personnel with some field techs answering calls and responding from home as needed. But we have at least one technician and one supervisor on site at all times. The line crews are the same. At least one crew per day is at the building and or in the field, and others respond directly from home. One man per vehicle, the second man on crew uses their own vehicle or another truck as required. There is a minimum of 2 electrical supervisors and 1 broadband supervisor on site during the normal work week. We've been lucky. There have only been a few problems and the weather hasn't been too bad. Governor Baker announced this week that the state will be extending the school closures. All schools will now be closed until May 4th, according to the governor. Now, more than ever, technology has come to the forefront of education. To learn more about how Norwood's technology department is managing remote learning, we go to the Director of Technology Services, Joe Kidd.
Thanks, Kristen. The NPS Technology Department is currently supporting teachers and administrators in a number of ways during the closure. First, our technicians are still available remotely to help support technology issues for teachers and office staff now working from home. If a student is having an issue with a Chromebook, we have set up a system in which they can make an appointment with one of our technicians to come into the school and swap out the Chromebook that is not working with one that is, all within a matter of minutes and with minimal interaction, keeping with social distancing practices. For families of elementary school students who need a Chromebook at home because they don't have a device, we are providing devices for them to use during the closure. Families fill out a form stating their need, and the school principals have been following up with them to schedule a time to pick up the device. For families without internet access, we're working with Norwood Light and Broadband to offer access during the closure. As teachers are providing remote learning activities, we are working on adding more tools that teachers and students can use to deliver content electronically, while still making sure that the tools we put into place follow our student data privacy standards. We hope that everyone is staying healthy and we will be back in school on May the 4th, but until then, the NPS Technology Department is here to help.
Thanks, Joe, and the entire Technology Department for all your hard work during this time. Now we head across town to Brian Dunn with sports.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the sports update for this week. My name is Brian Dunn, and as you can see, it's a little bit of a different setup as I'm broadcasting from my house, but we are happy to share with you a couple announcements for sports for this week. Earlier this week, the Boston Globe and Boston Herald newspapers came out with their all-scholastic teams, and some Mustangs have made the list. Megan Olbrys grabbed both Globe and Herald team honors for girls basketball. Allie McDonough of the girls hockey team makes the Herald team, and Lizzie Broderick from gymnastics makes the Globe team. I was able to chat with all three via Skype to get their thoughts on this incredible honor.
I'd say at first, looking back at the season, I was pretty sad, but then after receiving all these awards and seeing my teammates also receive awards, it's just kind of happy to look back on that we had so much success this season, both individually and as a team.
I mean, it's very exciting. I wasn't really expecting it, but it's exciting overall. It kind of just happened. I didn't realize it was a thing until last year, really, but I wasn't trying to make the scholastic, but it just kind of happened.
It was very surprising. I didn't expect to get both, especially when I got the Herald. I was very excited, and then the Globe it was very it's really exciting for me knowing that I'm only a sophomore. And when Lepley told me, it was really surprising. With practicing, just showing how much we got better, I knew that we were all something special and something was going to happen.
And we have a quick update on the list of all-stars we shared a couple weeks back with additions in wrestling, cheerleading, and swim and dive. Just another example of how successful the winter sports season was. Congratulations to everybody who won. And I know right now with the current state of affairs, sports are on hold, but that doesn't mean the sports competitive spirit has to go with it. That's why we're calling on you the sports community to keep that competitive spirit alive. We want you to submit your videos of either you keeping those skills sharp or just having some sports-related fun at home. Here's how it works. Send a video on social media, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and use the hashtag #MustangAtHome. That's hashtag #MustangAtHome. If you don't have social media access, you can always email me at bdunn@norwoodcommunitymedia.org. We'll be sure to repost your submissions and highlight them on the Sports Update each week. We look forward to seeing your submissions, and as always, go Mustangs. And that's going to be the sports news for me this week. As always, you can stay up to date on sports news by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Kristen, back to you.
Thanks, Brian. Welcome back to Norwood News. On Tuesday, the Board of Selectmen met in the community room in the police and fire station. The meeting was held in that space so the board could follow the social distancing protocol, and only 10 people were allowed to attend the meeting. There was a public hearing for a transfer of an alcoholic beverages license from Bamboo Cafe to the Skating Club of Boston. During the hearing, information about the club was provided.
A little background on the Skating Club of Boston. They have been in existence since 1912. They're a 501(c) nonprofit corporation. They have over 800 members, and the club is a founding member of the United States Figure Skating and is the regional center for recreational and competitive skating.
After the club's presentation, the selectmen had these questions and comments.
This facility, this alcohol portion, will not be open to the general public.
Correct.
This will be function only.
This will be function only, serving members, special guests, or folks who rent out the facility for a special event, say the club lounge.
Thank you. Under advice of council, I looked into this, and there are two criteria that I am concerned with. Number one, does this transfer of license serve the common good? In my estimation, yes, it does, for a multitude of reasons. And secondly, is there a public convenience? And again, I also believe that to be true. This is going to be a great economic engine for the area and for the town. And I think based on their past practice in Brighton, a very prestigious organization, I think they will do this town very proud.
The transfer of the license passed with a unanimous vote. Due to the COVID-19, the town election has been postponed. The town's bylaws state that the incumbent shall stay in office until there is a successor. Selectmen Alan Howard and Paul Bishop will remain on the board, and Howard included it in his addenda.
This situation, frankly, I am very proud and humbled that I can still be in this position with the predicament that our town, state, and country and the world is in. I look forward to making decisions that really matter about this for our town, and just circumstances that made this, but I definitely accept it with open arms. I really do.
The Board of Selectmen will meet again in 2 weeks on April 7th. Once again, through the power of technology, the school committee was able to meet virtually and discuss a number of topics. Following Dr. Thompson's statement on the continued school closure, the committee hosted many guests, including Jen Murray from Effective School Solutions, who gave a presentation on a partnership opportunity with Norwood High School on a clinical mental health program. The discussion then moved to the budget, and some actions were taken to get down to their final draft in preparation for an annual town meeting, including discussion of a date for the public forum budget meeting with a tentative date of April 22nd.
I feel like you guys can get a good presentation by the 15th. That's the real issue. Can you get a good, solid presentation by the 15th?
Dr. Thompson?
I say the 22nd.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, with as many curveballs as we keep getting, I think the 22nd is a better date. Okay. It just allows a week to wiggle if we need to wiggle. Otherwise, we're close right now unless someone decides that option B is not an option, then we're not close. You know what I mean? And so, I think having an extra week to figure things out and make sure we're on the right path is a good idea.
So that's an entirely different concern than the tech concern. The tech concern we can solve. I'm much more sympathetic to we want to have it right conversation,
Alec Wyeth explained in detail the distance learning program and how the schools are shifting their operations to a remote learning experience. The school committee will meet again on April 8th. The middle school building committee met via video conference on Wednesday evening. The MSBA has a stringent process that must be followed in order to continue in the program. The committee discussed 2 key items related to selecting the owner's project manager for the middle school building project. The committee unanimously agreed to the scope of services expected of the owner's project manager and agreed to the members of the committee responsible for selecting the owner's project manager. The committee members are Alan Slater, Tony Mizuko, Tom Maloney, Margot Frasick, and Paul Riccardi. The next meeting has not been scheduled. For complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government Channel or watch it on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break for more news around town.
The town of Norwood would like to inform residents that businesses regarded as non-essential in the effort to stop the spread of the novel coronavirus must end all in-person operation following an emergency order issued by the Governor Charlie Baker on Monday. Effective Tuesday, March 24th at noon, companies that do not provide essential services related to COVID-19 must close all facilities to employees and customers. This order will remain in effect until April 7th at noon. Essential COVID-19 services include healthcare and public health, law enforcement, public safety and first responders, food and agriculture, critical manufacturing, chemical manufacturing and hazardous materials, transportation, energy, water and wastewater organizations and public works, communications and information technology, financial services, defense industry base, news media, other designated community-based essential function in government operations. Local businesses and industries not included in the above list are encouraged to continue operations remotely if possible. Restaurants and bars may remain operational, but should only open for delivery or takeout services through April 6, and should continue to follow social distancing protocols. Takeout and delivery patrons are urged to call ahead or place their orders online with restaurants and eateries in order to minimize face-to-face interaction and streamline the pickup process. The town of Norwood also advises residents to stay at home and avoid unnecessary travel and other activities. Following a stay-at-home advisory issued today by the Department of Public Health, individuals considered to be high risk when exposed to COVID-19, including those over 70 years of age or with any underlying health conditions, should limit social interaction as much as possible. Social distancing practices will help to minimize exposure among people. The current order also limited gatherings of 10 people or less, a reduction from the previous 25-person limit. This order does not prohibit gatherings of 10 or more in outdoor spaces, such as parks or athletic fields, but people should refrain from activities such as touch football or other pickup sports that occur in large groups.
Welcome back. In these times of need, there are a lot of people and businesses stepping up and helping out any way they can. Alex Stefanos, an NHS graduate of 2008 and NCM public access producer to Today in Space, has the ability to 3D print masks for healthcare professionals. He is currently working on a design.
Alex Orfanos heard the plea for masks from healthcare professionals and decided to act using a skill of his own.
With the whole COVID-19 thing started out, people were trying to really quickly come up with a plan because the supplies just for hospitals are running out, as we all know. And it's not going to be over anytime soon. So people started 3D printing masks. But the big problem is so many people innovating and trying to do things, and they want to help. But so like we've been testing designs. So we've got this one here. It's got a cover. You can put it on. We're testing designs. That's what we're doing this week. To see which one works, to see which ones we can build the fastest, because we'd like to donate these to the people that need them, nurses, hospitals, people that work in special needs, EMTs, firemen. We've had a bunch of people reach out We can make 3D printed stuff, but we're looking for people to help with donating things like filter materials, and we're trying to make face shields too. So if there's anyone that has like a plastic laser cutting like sheets and stuff like that, we're looking for just people to help donate and fundraise the items and then donate them and get the community involved.
His goal is to make 50 to 250 masks a week. Alex is testing a number of designs to find the right one that can be made in the shortest amount of time.
So right now, these designs that I have are about, this one was like 6 hours, this one was like 8, this one here, a bunch of different parts, that was also like 7 hours, but I have a design that could bring it down as low as an hour.
Alex is seeking donations of the materials and is making the masks on his own time.
We are still working that out. I'm going to come up with a better system, but the easiest way would be to email me, ag3d.engineering@gmail.com. That's our website. Our website is ag3d-printing.com. But if you email us, at least we can start a list together, and then we'll have something on our website coming this weekend. So.
Also, Sky Spa, a local nail salon and spa, continues to serve its customers although their doors have closed. They have already put their currently unused masks and protective equipment to good use by donating them.
In these uncertain times, there are many people going above and beyond to help the community. That was certainly the case with Swan Thang, owner of Sky Spa in Norwood. Last Tuesday, Thang announced over social media that the business will temporarily close because it was necessary to be part of the solution. Thursday, on their social media accounts, they announced they will be leaving complimentary kits so their customers can take care of their nails during this time.
So when it comes to the storm, when we know that we're about to close, first thing that came up to my mind is, what is my clients going to do? Because the way we do soak off compared to other salons is very different. So clients is priority to me. I always take care of them first. So I come up with the idea of making together with a little kit, and it comes with instructions, and I make a short clips of how they can soak it off at home themselves. Just the way we do everything at our salon, I'm not sure how other salon does it, but we do them very, very differently. And my clients are very used to the way we take care of them. So I just want them, either I'm not here, I will teach them the way they can do it themselves as well.
Then, on Sunday, Sky Spa announced that they would be donating their currently unused masks to the nurses and doctors at the hospital.
Since government would recommend all business to close and to be part of the solution. And I just thought, to all this masks, I'm not going to use them anyway, so just put them in good use. And I always want to be part of the community and just want to give back for those, they've been supporting me since day one in Norwood. Actually, I reached out to one of our clients who is a nurse in Norwood Hospital. Her name is Sheila Dixon. I was asking her what is her opinion for me to donate to them, and she was just so happy that we can do that. And I, gave it to her, and it's from there.
For Thang, giving back in times like this is what makes a community.
Even though our community is small, but everything helps. And if anybody can just contribute in a little bit of everything in this time, it will be great. And message to all the salon around us, if you have anything that can help our small community, it will be amazing.
Thank you, Alex and Swan, for your contributions to our community. Just over 100 years ago, Norwood and the rest of the world faced a very similar situation during the 1918 flu pandemic. Local historian Patricia Fanning documented how Norwood responded to this in her book entitled Influenza and Inequality, one town's tragic response to the great epidemic of 1918. The Old Parish Preservation Volunteers, or OPPV, are currently publishing excerpts of this book on their webpage, www.oldparishpreservationvolunteers.com. John Grove, a member of the OPPV, explains.
So we were trying to think of ways that how can we keep engaged with our eager volunteers without being a nuisance. Nobody likes to get flooded with emails telling you, here we are, here's what we're doing. So it hit me that Patricia Fanning, who was the founder of the Old Parish Preservation Volunteers, it was her brainchild back in 2018, 2017, had written 12 years ago now, an incredibly informative book about the outbreak of the 19 flu epidemic and how it was addressed in Norwood. I mean, this is 12 years old now, and who knew that in 2020 it would have a life of its own. So I had my copy. I read it 10, 12 years ago. and was fascinated, being interested in local history. And I started thumbing through it again last week, and I thought, wow, this is the kind of thing that everybody in Norwood ought to know, that we've been here before. So I called Patty. She liked the idea. So what we've done is excerpt various anecdotal stories about how Norwood coped in 1918, from about September of 1918 through probably February, March of 1919. And she has, it's up to her to decide what content we put up. We've got images to go along with it. The website is www.oldparishpreservationvolunteers.com, all lowercase, no abbreviations. If you want to email us a question, the email is norwoodoldparish@gmail.com, and we'll answer your questions personally, and as well, if the question keeps coming up, we'll just post more information.
Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.